Manchester United lost 3 games on the bounce in all competitions. It just begged the question, is it too soon to question Jose Mourinho in charge of the club, James?
I don't think it is, no.
Perfect time.
It just seems like a bit of a... He's obviously signed a lot of players. He's
spent a lot of money.
Spent a shed ton of money. It's just bringing back Man United back into that kind of realm where they can win trophies again. He always has this first season and he has a bit of a wobble and you end up always doing all right. He just needs to find who his best players are, how they best operate within the team, and just get.
Isn't that all the things a manager's supposed to do?
Yeah, but and what I'm saying is he needs a bit more time, and also it'd probably help if Wayne Rooney wasn't absolute dog shit. Personally, that's what I'm going to say.
What's your because look, we're 5 games into the league campaign. He's going to take time to bed in, to get his ideas across, because he does play a different brand of football to Van Gaal, does play a different brand of football to Man United historically as well, to some extent. But equally, you can see why the questions will be asked, because his 10 years in England have not ended well. He's only a year on from being sacked as Chelsea manager. The knives are going to be out for him a lot quicker this time around than they've been probably at any other point in his career.
Yeah, I think it is too early to question. It's the start of what he hopes will be a long tenure, or certainly longer than he's just had. The fact is, it feels very samey at the moment to Van Gaal. Okay, he had a decent start, didn't he? He won the first few games. He had a big bump in the road the last week. He lost 3 in a week, including the derby, which is never good. But he will get them sorted, won't he? Because that's what he tends to do. Whether it's the flamboyant Manchester United that use hate, and a lot of people have, a lot of people used to like watching them. They've changed
United's
anyway.
flamboyance is not the reason I hate them.
No, what I mean is during the Fergie, the 90s and the noughties or whatever they're called, they were very good to watch, weren't they? They were very good to watch, and then they've kind of moved away from it under Moyes, and it got worse under Van Gaal, and they may become strong under Mourinho, but it won't be the same way. But you can't. He's had 3 games. He's got a problem with Rooney, because you either play Wayne Rooney up front and tell him to stand in the box where he can score goals. You can't let him just wander around the pitch like Scholes, because he's not that player. And he's also got a problem with Pogba, because Pogba can't play in front of the back 4 alongside Fellaini. He just can't. He's someone who needs to be higher up the pitch to affect the play. So he's got his first.
He's got too many very good players to play in one position.
Mkhitaryan isn't even really playing, is he? And he's a really good player. So.
Mkhitaryan's struggling as well.
Mkhitaryan,
yeah.
I just put my Scouse bit on. I thought we were going to say fantastic.
Mkhitaryan.
I don't think it's too soon.
The fellow who turned you down.
It's not too soon, because it's too much fun to question Mourinho. It's it's brilliant. And if in 3 months he's suddenly winning everything, and in 3 years he's winning trophies left, right, and centre, I personally need to enjoy this moment as much as I possibly can.
No, that's it.
So
this is the thing. I think you're right. Is that ultimately he's a proven track record of success. Odds are he'll do well at Man United. So why not take this opportunity? Well, it's not going perfectly well, to have a little laugh.
You know what his problem will be? He's always able to go in, and he's had that kind of mystique behind him, and the fear. He's gone in and success. This time coming back in, he wasn't successful. He won the league at Chelsea, don't get me wrong, but the way it ended last year, it was really poor.
But also, there was so many things that built up, like the doctor, all those little stories, that even now, the things coming out about, Luke Shaw's story, saying that maybe there's an issue there. Yeah. There's also other little elements that you're coming out now that plants that seed where it's maybe he's not going to be top dog, that the players will be questioning what he's doing.
I think the mystique thing is absolutely right on that. I mean, just out of interest, just as a stat, which Callum threw to me, if he's watching this, well done, Cal. He's lost 16 of his last 34 games as a manager. Prior to that, it took him 111 games to lose 16 prior to that. So,
I mean, he had the thing at Chelsea where he hadn't lost a home game for years, didn't he? And then Sunderland beat them. He's already lost the home game at Old Trafford last week to Manchester City. So something you feel as though something's changed a little bit within him. I think players at United,
I wonder,
he'll have to treat them carefully, but also he's in the same city as.
Well, this is what I was going to come on to. I wonder, because here's the thing with Man United fans, how long will they accept that? Because if Man City are going to continue to play this astonishing brand of football, and they've got the manager that everyone wants in world football apart from us, and they've got all this stuff.
Apart from Moyes.
Apart from Moyes. But if they've got all this stuff going, they're looking at Man, you've got to live in that city. A certain percentage of Man United fans anyway, got to live with that, and they've got to look across and look at Man City and go, look what they're doing. And Mourinho, even when Mourinho gets it right, he's still not going to be playing the brand of football that Man United fans are necessarily looking for.
The thing that I'm thinking, like if you look at, say, Mourinho at Chelsea when he was first at Chelsea 2005, around that time, and you look at Mourinho now and the difference between the playing styles, you'd say that Mourinho's quite a pragmatist now when it comes to football and his tactics and how he plays. So maybe he's give up too much of his principles in his footballing philosophy to be a pragmatist to try and win games. Maybe Real Madrid, his time at Real Madrid, he's knocked him for 6. Maybe he just tried, he's completely changed it, remodelled how he plays and stuff like that.
But he come in and he won the league for Chelsea, then he got them second and then he won the title a year later.
Yeah, but he didn't really have a massive competitor from my point of view in that season.
You can't. That's like saying Leicester didn't deserve it last year. You can't.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I'm just saying like it's a complete different kettle of fish now.
Has he got a massive competitor this year other than City?
Yeah, City.
Other than City?
No, not. I'd say Chelsea maybe.
But that's the thing. I think looking at how, like you say, knives are out. That he's got the spending on top of that. Yeah. He's got the Rooney situation on top of that. What happened at Chelsea? There's a lot there. I mean, the fans already, where they. Because of Moyes, because of Van Gaal, they're already a lot shorter. Not a fuse is the wrong word, but there's a lot less time.
I think fuse is the right word.
Yeah, you're right, because this is the thing, isn't it? And Liverpool experienced this to some extent, and Arsenal are going to have it in due course. I think at some point is that when you go from this, we're not a sacking club. You've got a manager for a long spell of time. You've got an ethos about that where you want to give guys time. When you damage that, it becomes it creeps into your fans' mindset that. If things aren't going right, well, we just change the manager, and you end, of course, like Chelsea are on the other end of the scale of that kind of thing. But you can see it happen to Liverpool when things, if you have half a season where it's not great, all of a sudden it gets into your mind. Ooh, you get itchy feet and you think something else might happen. That's the problem Mourinho's got to face it.
And I think if City wouldn't have been City in terms of having the likes of Guardiola, I think he'd have had a lot more time. I think. Manchester United fans would be like, he'll get it, like whether if it was Liverpool or Arsenal or whatever the competitors, Tottenham, whoever you want to say. But because he's under the spotlight in that same city where everybody is looking at
and the home derby,
everything and all that, it's just going to be amplified because everyone's lauding Manchester City the way they've started. They're losing games to Watford. It's just compounding it for them. I'm not saying United. They will know he'll get them sorted.
But to be fair, you can lose a game to Man City at any point.
Of course,
and the Europa League, going away from home, you can lose games in the Europa League as well. And then again, Watford, these results do happen in the league. Is that it make you the big
Watford aren't the worst team now. They're more in reputation-wise, you think
decent,
Watford, but they've been doing.
What I mean is,
sorry, buddy, but this is the thing: is the question that Marks will come in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months time, I guess. Is but. We Liverpool had it when they lost to Burnley, is that you've got that thing in the back of your mind that goes, it's just going to be the same as it was last year or the year before and the year before. You need players to go out and prove themselves to allay those fears. Right here and now, there will be, and I don't think loads of Man United fans, but there will be a small percentage of United fans going, and they'll be looking at that going, well, that's unacceptable, all these things, because although in isolation, each of those defeats is fine. When you group them together, it feels like a run of misfortune, and then you throw it in with what's been happening in the seasons before, and the money they've spent, and the fact that Mourinho's career is not on the rise anymore. You'll start to look into all the things that aren't going right with him. I can understand why there might be some Man United fans
but that was what I was going to say. It's historically now for them. It's over the last few years that there's been big bumps. There hasn't just been. We've come back and we won that then, and then he's going to take a bit of time to turn it around. It's been quite bumpy for them. Okay, Van Gaal ended with the FA Cup last year and things like that, but for them, it will feel like, is this just repeating this history, just repeating this?
It
I think
feels-
personally he'll sort it, but at the moment they're struggling a little.
I think it's quite indicative of like a change in times, really, because if you look at, you can't say to me that if Pep Guardiola didn't go to City, he wouldn't have gone to United. And that, from my point of view, is quite telling from where we are in football and where football is in Manchester. So, and also on top of that, you got Jose Mourinho, who apparently wasn't wanted by Sir Alex Ferguson, Bobby Charlton. So you got that situation. You're basically playing second fiddle to Pep Guardiola or Pep Guardiola in the managerial department. You can't, and you're not. He's not like the big I am the best manager in the world, is he now? And then the former best manager in the world didn't really want him there. So it's everything compounding together. And I think he thought that signing Pogba for big money might act as a bit of distraction.
Well, Chris and I were discussing this last week, and how Man United this season, this summer, felt like, to use an American sportism, a Hail Mary play, yeah? Yeah. Like they've gone, right, we can't continue like this. We'll be too far removed from success if we don't get back on track soon. Well, we don't really want Mourinho because he doesn't fit what we're looking for. But if we just if we can buy ourselves a title, then that fixes a lot of the problems to give us a base to start from again. So they've gone out and they've gone Mourinho, and you know they don't have those. And what they've always had is an old generation to teach a young generation, and it becomes a cycle of success. That cycle's been broken. So in getting Zlatan and paying big money for Pogba, they've tried to buy in those guys that would have been at Man United already, who've been moved on without passing on the knowledge, and hope that they can kind of, you know, it's like jumpstart. I've so many analogies in one a couple of sentences. They're trying to jumpstart Man United's, you know, silverware hunt again to some extent, knowing full well that Mourinho will probably implode after 3 years, as he tends to do. But if you've got a Premier League title in the cabinet with a squad of players who know how to win it again, then you go out and get the next manager.
He's a short-term manager, but he's got to do it that way, because it's other managers will go, well, we'll do that because in 3 or 4 years we'll have all these players come through. He's got to do it now.
But does that put does that put the pressure, more pressure almost than Mourinho's ever been under? Because if that doesn't work, well, what Man United are absolutely in the wilderness if that doesn't work, because they've tried it with a younger guy. They've tried to get a guy in to bring stability over long term. They wanted Moyes for a long term vision. That went completely tits up. They've gone and got Van Gaal, who's meant to be the guy who builds.
Still went too early, a bit more.
Yeah, but they've gone to get Van Gaal, who apparently is the guy who builds, that puts things together for the next guy to come in and take over and build success, and that's not worked. And then you go, oh fuck it, let's go and buy some success. If that doesn't work, where do United go?
Klopp, I think then.
For Klopp, yeah, as if, you know what I mean. But where do you go?
Simeone.
Kick a field goal.
Kick a field goal. Go for the stick. I don't know.
The sticks.
Whatever they're called. Stick it in the
end zone.
And
I think this is Mourinho's biggest job he's had in his career, personally. Like, screw Real Madrid. Like, this is his biggest job he's had in his career.
Pressure-wise, yeah. Definitely.
Not just pressure-wise, but like everything in total for me. The size of the club he's at.
Yeah.
The fan base, the international appeal, the problems he's got to sort out. It's in the stock market as well. Everything, if you culminate everything together, and Man City on top of it, the noisiest neighbours you couldn't fear to have. It's the toughest job you could get yourself into.
But usually he's best in adversity, isn't he? That's what he thrives on. And even with, it seems to, from what you can gather reading in the press, whatever's true, you're not always sure, but that he's kind of come in with, I want this, because he a feeling that he wasn't backed at Chelsea with the big name players, and they've done it. They've got Zlatan, who's worked for him before, played for him before, and then Pogba, and it just kind of, it feels like if he doesn't get it right, I think the wheels will just come off again like Chelsea straight away. I don't know, just like you said, you can see it both ways, can't you? That he could do it, he could turn it around in that short-term burst of success. But
well, it's telling that we're only just starting to get into the tough period of the season as well for them. That's one Europa League game down. It's not the start you're looking for. It's tricky at the best of times. He's obviously tried to split his side a little bit to some extent. It's not worked. We'll be telling to see how he handles next couple. The fact of the matter is, United will go and win the next game. And they'll probably go and win the game after that. They'll put a few good results together. They will do, but there will be that that spectre hanging over, and it doesn't help when they cut into Alex Ferguson in the stands shaking his head and doing this, because he clearly hates it, doesn't he? You know, so that is you're right. He's got a growing pressure from a fan base, from a disgruntled fan base. The pressure of the entire future of Manchester United Football Club, and as you say, looming large over him in the stands is this guy who was the best manager the Premier League's ever seen, looking down on him and going, "I didn't want you," you know, and adding that pressure on, eyes burning, a hole in the back of his head or whatever.
Just shaking.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's a tough period for Man United. Like I say, they'll have a good season. They will.
Yeah, I think it's at the moment.
They'll get Champions League, but it's just a bit of a difficult one when you look at it objectively, I think.
Yeah, but sending out tweets about how they're in the title race and Liverpool need to concentrate on sixth. Needs to be.
Wind your neck and Gary.
Fan channels. It's the United stand. Actually, decent lads. But yeah, they got badly trolled by Liverpool's official Twitter account. Anyway, yeah, let us know your thoughts. Is it too soon to question Mourinho? Do you think he's got what it takes to bring success back to Man United? Is this just a blip? Are people making too much of it, or is it symptoms of a larger problem that Mourinho's going to have to face as he continues in the job at Old Trafford? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to the Ball Street YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Villa View. Subscribe to Toffee TV. You already subscribe to 442 because he's got millions of followers. But do it anyway. And of course, subscribe to Red Men TV and Retro Football TV as well for more. And the MLS show. Those are all of our millions of channels because they're all boss. And we'll see you back for more Social Club next week.